In the near future, people have to rely on lottery to eat a hot dog sausage. In a world where zombies roam, the wheel becomes the key to survival in the apocalypse. Strengthened Brother Wu also learned this secret. He unexpectedly found a new wheel. He also encountered Mo Yi, who parted ways with Yi Zhongming. As expected, Brother Wu, who had consumed the strengthening potion, faced no pressure against Mo Yi of the People's Guards. He gently punched her, sending her flying hundreds of miles away. But Mo Yi is not to be underestimated. She countered with a flawless series of kicks, landing without a splash. She managed to interrupt Brother Wu's attack. In addition, she used a set of Wing Chun moves personally taught by Ip Man to make Brother Wu stagger back a few steps. However, such attacks were like scratching an itch for the strengthened Brother Wu. As expected, Brother Wu quickly gained the upper hand, making Mo Yi cough up a mouthful of blood. And just as Brother Wu raised his fist, prepared to finish off Mo Yi's mouth unexpectedly revealed a sly smile. It turns out Yi Zhongming had suddenly appeared behind Brother Wu. He used a Bagwazang move and sent Brother Wu flying. Brother Wu took several steps back before stabilizing himself. Seeing that the approaching person was actually Yi Zhongming, if this had happened before, Brother Wu might have been quite wary. But now, having also consumed strengthening potions, he is on the same starting line as Yi Zhongming. He settled Mo Yi, who was injured, and Yi Zhongming's expression darkened as he stared sternly at Brother Wu before Brother Wu could even introduce himself. Yi Zhongming stepped forward to launch an attack at him. But Brother Wu is not an easy target either. He swiftly dodged Yi Zhongming's fierce punch with a sidestep. He then countered with a punch as big as a sand pot. At this moment, Yi Zhongming only realized that Brother Wu had also drunk the strengthening potion. He became a one-star warrior just like himself. But if he thinks he can be on par with Yi Zhongming like this, he is greatly mistaken. Yi Zhongming, who has been reborn, has 10 more years of combat experience than him. Yi Zhongming dodged Brother Wu's punch with one swift move. Then he landed a fierce punch right at his kidney. Then came the oncoming attack. It's a punch. Brother Wu was completely out of breath from the punch. He immediately knelt down and begged for mercy. However, he quietly took out a folded army knife from his hand. Wait until Yi Zhongming turned and left. He launched a direct sneak attack from behind. But the result was self-evident. Yi Zhongming dodged with a quick move, causing him to lose his balance and fall forward. Then came a crisp and pleasant sound of bone shattering. Yi Zhongming forcibly broke his hand. Then he punched and ruptured the liver and intestines. The nearby little yellow head immediately came to help Brother Wu up, and then leapt in front of Yi Zhongming. Mo Yi looked puzzled at Yi Zhongming, wondering why he didn't eradicate the problem once and for all. But Yi Zhongming just sneered. There's no need for me to take action. These two, good brothers, will soon bring about their own downfall. Sure enough, once out of Yi Zhongming's sight, the little yellow head snatched Brother Wu's crystal. Then he smirked and casually pushed him into the group of zombies. In the near future, people have to rely on a lottery just to eat a sausage in the near future. In a world overrun by zombies, the wheel becomes the key to survival in the apocalypse. To resolve the little episode with Brother Wu, Yi Zhongming exchanged all the valuable items in the new wheel. He then started planning his team. In the end times, the more strength, the more hope for survival. Yi Zhongming distributed the enhanced potion he drew to 3 people. After drinking it, they all felt the side effects of enhanced cells. After giving 2 instructions, Yi Zhongming started to go back to the hospital. He was ready to take down Ape Turtle Crocodile, because in his pre-rebirth memories, Ape Turtle Crocodile was guarding a piece of paper and its egg. And it is rumored that the paper records a schematic for crafting a type of blade weapon. Now he is determined. But this time, a detailed plan is necessary. He first cleans up the nearby zombies to prevent any unexpected situations. He then plans to use his craftsmanship skills to strengthen his equipment. Although this time he drew a good gun from the wheel, it is only at the grade level. the power is not sufficient. Then he can only work on the bullets. The claw tips he extracted from the lizard before will come in handy. He can make armor-piercing bullets by integrating the bullets with the claw tips. Penetration and lethality are greatly enhanced. Arrange the Di Huang pill after the airing. He then jumped down to start sniping the ape turtle crocodile. At this time, the ape turtle crocodile was taking a nap. But the sudden appearance of the red coat instantly made it more alert. Then it jumped up directly, rushing towards Yi Zhongming's red coat. Indeed, the intelligence was accurate. The ape turtle crocodile is quite sensitive to the color red. Yi Zhongming then threw the coat into the sky, instantly drawing all its attention towards it. Then Yi Zhongming shot at its abdomen. He found that the bullet, as he expected, was able to perfectly penetrate the thick armor of the ape turtle crocodile. At this point, the ape turtle crocodile was thoroughly enraged. It slapped Yi Zhongming. See how it didn't hold back. The following attack was a series of furious wind claws. But all its attacks were blocked one by Yi Zhongming. He then leaped, landing on the tail of the ape turtle crocodile. He then leaped again, springing towards the head of the ape turtle crocodile. He raised the 80-meter short sword in his hand. With a click, the short sword lodged directly between its upper and lower jaws. Then he took out the armor-piercing handgun he had prepared. He aimed at the throat of the ape turtle crocodile. With a bang, the ape turtle crocodile instantly lost vital signs. After Yi Zhongming put on his signature red coat, he walked towards the spoils. Sure enough, a glowing scroll appeared before him. This weapon actually contains both a passive skill and an active skill. Moreover, the final stage is even a rare purple level. Having skills on the weapon is already considered top-notch. And this knife is not only purple level, but also has 2 skills. That is approaching an epic grade. In the near future, people need to draw lots to drink a bottle of mineral water. In the post-apocalyptic world where zombies roam, wheels become the key to survival. Yi Zhongming, who has been reborn, brings with him 10 years of survival experience and memories from another world. He easily defeats the guardian beast ape turtle crocodile and obtains a priceless artifact forging book. However, with his current strength, he can only complete the first phase of forging. Additionally, there are 3 eggs left behind by the ape turtle crocodile. Consuming them can enhance one's physique for humans and possibly induce evolution for pets. So Yi Zhongming immediately called for the Di Huang pill. He cooked one of the eggs and gave it to the cat to eat. Sure enough, after eating it, Yi Zhongming clearly felt his physical strength double. After taking the Di Huang pill, it unexpectedly evolved into a level 2 exotic pet. It also gained new innate skills. At the command of Yi Zhongming, the fur of the Di Huang pill's dog stands on end. Then the dog's fur transformed into dense thorns, quickly and violently shooting forward. Everyone was amazed at the talent attack of Di Huang pill. It turned out to be a hair attack with fine needles and threads. Although the power is good, it's quite costly in terms of fur. Di Huang pill was instructed to continue eating eggs. Yi Zhongming then found an abandoned hospital to start the first phase of artifact forging. Following the requirements in the forging book, Yi Zhongming activated his crafting skills. Thoroughly dissolve and refine a small car, then inject it into their own 80-meter short sword. Next, merge the claws and teeth of ape turtle crocodile, along with a level 2 magic crystal, onto the short sword. With a loud bang, a white light column soared straight into the sky. The first stage of lunar blade forging has been successfully completed. Yi Zhongming waved it casually. He directly split a 50-meter thick iron pipe in half. The sharpness is self-evident. After completing the task, Yi Zhongming took the boiled eggs back to give to Liang Chuyin and the others. Those who drank the strengthening potion quickly adapted to the world of the undead. Fighting zombies and digging for crystals also became easier. Yi Zhongming's early investment in them was not in vain. So the 2 women and a dog used egg liquid to cook at the stove. Teacher Piao immediately felt her physical fitness improving again. At this moment, Zhongming interrupted them, only to see him handing a purple wisteria whip to Liang Qin. Later, Liang Qin waved left, waved right, waved up, and waved down, fully showcasing her gymnastic skills to the fullest. This is simply tailor-made for Liang Qin. Compared to Teacher Piao, Zhongming has not figured out what weapon to give her yet. You can't just make a box of chalk to throw at her. Moe has some things to deal with, and will temporarily leave the team. After settling everything, Zhongming earnestly said to the two of them, "The next place we are heading to will have a huge number of zombies and powerful monsters. We will also face attacks from similar creatures. Because the place they are about to go to is Pearl Lake. And in the lake, there is a wheel with a gold ingot. In the near future, people need to draw lots even if they eat instant noodles. In the apocalyptic world plagued by zombies, wheels have become a key to survival." Zhongming, who has come back to life. He carries 10 years of apocalyptic experience and memories with him. He is simply a walking bug. In his memory, there is a golden ingot wheel in the water of Pearl Lake that can be powered by just one level 1 magic crystal. Once activated, you will receive a quest prompt. After completing it, there will be rich rewards. It can be said, he who possesses it rules the world. However, rewards and risks coexist. In the previous battle for dominance, only extreme bloodshed can describe it. Sure enough, another organization with forces gathered by the lake. The leader is a middle-aged man surnamed Yi, wearing a long robe. The thug next to him, Wang Ding, has even reached the level of a 2-star warrior in strength. At this time, Zhongming did not rush to get involved. Instead, he watched the situation in the lake from a distance. The current situation was only suitable for using strategy. So, he began to assign tasks to the two girls. Liang Qin is responsible for observation. If a little monster carrying a golden bag appears, notify him. Teacher Piao is responsible for reporting the battlefield situation. They found a relatively high point to watch the movements of the small monster. And Zhongming will be lurking in a nearby building, waiting for an opportunity to act. He ordered the two of them to inform him immediately once they found the target, and not to act alone. Although the little monster has poor abilities, it can summon many mutant creatures. And at this moment, a dazzling light shines from the lake not far away. The treasure wheel is officially activated. Zhongming and others immediately split up and act separately. The armed group searching along the lake also took a few steps back. Qin Xiaobo, who was leading the group, was momentarily stunned. Because what appeared in front of them was precisely the small monster mentioned by Zhongming. It leisurely picked up the horn beside it, and then played a melody of Breaking East Wind. Qin Xiaobo's face darkened. He had a sense of ominous foreboding in his heart. Sure enough, the guard team noticed something unusual. It turns out there is a large wave of zombies heading towards the lake. And Leader Yi is a leader in the brainwashing industry. He can inspire the fiery fighting spirit of the armed group with just a few words. And at this moment, Zhongming is quietly watching them from the corner. It seems like he is waiting for something. Sure enough, in the forest not far away, a vortex resembling a black hole appeared. Finally arrived. Opened through the desolate space passage. The original horn can not only summon zombies, but also open the desolate space passage. Summon more powerful alien beasts. Zhongming immediately rushed to the rooftop at this moment. He saw a black hole right in front of him. And just at this moment, a big hand stretched out from the black hole. It turned out to be a level 43 corpse ape. Zhongming was no longer calm at this point. It seems that there is a slight deviation from his previous understanding. But in comparison, Zhongming is more focused on another creature. It is the fearful sheep that walks on foot. In the near future, people even need to rely on a wheel lottery to eat a steamed bun. In the post-apocalyptic world where zombies roam, fighting over the wheel has become the key to survival and power. Especially this lucrative treasure wheel has caught the attention of various factions. Zhongming, who is reborn with memories of the past decade in the apocalypse, is like a walking cheat code. He focuses his attention on a walking goat-like monster. According to memory, there is a priceless sheep treasure inside the body of this goat. Now, 3 men are being chased by it. They happen to come to Zhongming for help. A fierce battle between humans and goats is about to break out. Zhongming takes the initiative to attack the goat. He leaped onto the back of Fearful Sheep in one jump. As soon as he landed, he made a strike. Fearful Sheep howled in pain. But Zhongming paid no attention. Instead, he showed an even more sinister look in his eyes. The 3 men who were chased just now were all in disbelief. It's clear that Zhongming is also a 1-star warrior like him. Why is there such a difference? While Fearful Sheep struggles desperately, jumping up and down trying to shake off Zhongming firmly grabs its backstab. Then he's slashed again. Fearful Sheep's tears of incompetence flowed directly from its mouth. Subsequently, it began to jump frantically, just like you trying to swat a fly in front of your phone. Zhongming was also thrown around to the point where even his hairstyle was messed up. But there was no sign of it slowing down at all. Instead, it kept moving quickly. The splashing gravel kept hitting Zhongming's face. It suddenly stopped walking for a while. It gasped for breath. It turned its head to look at Zhongming, who was clinging to its back like a piece of toffee. Zhongming took the opportunity to leap down from its back. But the next second, Fearful Sheep's enormous hoof loomed over Zhongming's head. With a loud bang. If Zhongming hadn't been nimble, he would have turned into a kite. Zhongming adjusted his posture slightly and crouched down, in a stance like a drawn bow ready to release an arrow. Sure enough, his eyes glowed red with a chilling killing intent. He raised the 80-centimeter short knife in his hand. He gathered his strength and leaped forward, thrusting directly at Fearful Sheep's lower abdomen. After receiving a fatal blow, Fearful Sheep walked away with unrecognizable footsteps. In the end, there was no way to make a comeback, and he fell to the ground unable to get up. After seeing Fearful Sheep being truly knocked down, the 3 people who had just run away came out again. And they even showed their ugly side of humanity. They dared to say they wanted to take half of Zhongming's credit, especially when they saw that his hand was injured. No matter how you count it, they always have the upper hand in numbers. One of them, in particular, was extremely arrogant. When he saw Zhongming farting, he immediately grabbed a stick and lunged towards Zhongming. But the next second, the hand holding the stick fell to the ground. Before the leader had a chance to react, Zhongming directly kicked him. The powerful force caused the remaining 2 people to have fractures. Zhongming took out Yang Bao self-consciously. He then left without looking back. He continued to chase after the final goal of this mission. And what awaits the 3 of them is to be divided by zombies. In the near future, people need to rely on the wheel to draw lots when they drink a bottle of pure mountain spring water. In the post-apocalyptic world where zombies roam, fighting for the wheel becomes the key to survival and power. Zhongming, who is reborn with 10 years of post-apocalyptic memories, is like a walking cheat code. Zhongming resolves the issue of Fearful Sheep. He continues to chase after the little monster carrying a money bag. Under Teacher Piao's guidance, Zhongming learned that the little monster had arrived at a candy house. After he looked around carefully, he found a pile of ants surrounding a wooden house. It should be here, barring any unexpected events. When Zhongming approached, a familiar trumpet sound suddenly came. How is this possible? The little monster from the previous life shouldn't be like this. Because in his memory, the little monster should only blow the horn once. And this is already the 2nd time. The horn sound stops. The black hole makes a sizzling noise. Zhongming has a sense of foreboding. The appearance of level 4 to 3 corpse ape itself already made Zhongming feel abrupt. Before he could regain his thoughts, a big foot stepped out of the black hole. It could be vaguely seen that chains were wrapped around its body. The green horns on its head were particularly conspicuous. As the outline became clearer, Zhongming was shocked at this moment. How is this possible? The visitor turned out to be the chained prisoner from the previous life. It is one of the few absolutely powerful beings. Currently, the green crystal on its forehead indicates that it is now a level 4 alien beast. But not for long. It will continue to evolve. It became one of the first known level 9 exotic beasts to humans. Initially, it was almost invincible. Fortunately, there was the 9 stars powerhouse Mu-Sinfai at that time. She had to join forces with several powerhouses to barely defeat it. And that battle was also the battle where Mu-Sinfai rose to fame. According to Zhongming's current strength, this thing is still to be admired from afar and not to be messed with. For now, he needs to first capture the little monsters. Later, Zhongming arrived at the candy house mentioned by Teacher Piao, but found it deserted. He was just about to contact her. Suddenly, a gunshot is heard from the back door. It's the person surnamed Yi from the armed group. He has found that all the bags behind the little monsters are filled with good stuff. The leader with a bowl cut nervously called Leader Yi for support using a pager. Meanwhile, the little monster was still happily riding on an ant, darting around everywhere. But his glory only lasted for 3 seconds. By the second, he was shot. Bolcut looked excited. He was about to seize the opportunity and pursue the enemy. Zhongming suddenly rushed out. Before they could react, he is a hook expert. Lower hook. Left hook. Right hook coming up. Then he directly rushed towards the direction where the little monster was fleeing. More and more people know the secret. We must act swiftly. After Zhongming left, Bolcut immediately reported to Leader Yi. And Zhongming scanned the surroundings after a moment. He finally found the little monster lying in a pile of rubble eating chicken legs. After scrutinizing for a moment Zhongming, he immediately rushed to its chicken legs. In the near future, people have to rely on wheel lottery even just to smoke a cigarette. In the post-apocalyptic world where zombies rampage, fighting for the wheel becomes the key to survival and power. Zhongming, who was reborn with 10 years of post-apocalyptic memories, is like a walking cheat code. The melee to grab the treasure-filled wheel enters a white-hot stage. Zhongming has quietly appeared in front of the little monster. The little monster calmly pats the ants, but letting it deal with Zhongming. He was surprised to see that this big ant turned out to be a level 2 ant leader. Then he brandished the 80-meter short knife in his hand, blocking its fierce attacks. But the next second, the ant leader suddenly spit out a green, unidentified substance from its mouth. This caught Zhongming off guard. If not for his good waist, good legs, and good kidneys, this sneak attack would probably have taken his life. The Zhongming who had recovered his senses did not give it a chance to escape. Instead, he made a swift stroke towards its wings. The short knife, which had been tempered, was extremely sharp. The stroke passed smoothly, as if cutting through a cake. The ant leader, deprived of its wings, instantly lost its balance and crashed to the ground with a loud bang. Following that, Zhongming directly thrust the knife into its small head. Twist it a little more. Lick it a bit. Soak it for a while. Then, he coldly looked at the little monster in front of him. At this moment, the little monster instantly felt that the chicken leg in its hand was no longer tasty. It looked around nervously, wanting to escape. It looked at Zhongming with a sly smile that seemed to be both laughing and not. The little monster quickly put its hand into the bag behind its back and grabbed something to throw at Zhongming. When Zhongming saw that the item thrown at him was actually a scroll, he couldn't help but be greatly surprised. This turned out to be a basic summoning scroll. This is a very popular summoning skill in the virtual world. He didn't expect that the random things the monster threw away were extremely valuable. The little monster saw that the sneak attack didn't work. The cold sweat on its face increased. Then, he got another scroll. My goodness! It turned out to be a promotion scroll. In his past life, Zhongming almost lost his life for this. Now, it's being tossed around like garbage. This has made Zhongming happy in an instant. Next, the little monster continued its rampage of smashing precious treasures and attacking Yi Zhongming, until a professional certificate landed in Yi Zhongming's hands. He opened it and found that it was actually a profession called gardener. It is somewhat similar to his previous occupation, honored craftsman. It's not just a single occupational skill. It possesses both the cultivation and activation skills. The ability to plant food crops in the apocalypse is truly invaluable. Under Yi Zhongming's tyranny, the little monsters at this time were already trembling with fear. It hit him with something again. When Yi Zhongming wanted to reach out and catch it again, he found out that there was a trick in it. He immediately dodged to the side. The following was the booming sound of an explosion. When the smoke cleared, in front of him appeared a shiny green monster. In the near future, people even have to rely on Wheel to smoke a cigarette. In the apocalyptic world where zombies roam, Wheel struggles to become the key to survival and power. Reborn Yi Zhongming has rich information, like a walking cheat code. Showed great advantage in snatching monster treasure, but when it was about to be obtained, he was then blocked by the green monster summoned by it. The fluorescence on the monster's body was still strongly corrosive. At that moment, Yi Zhongming was caught off guard. But just as easily as Xiao he succeeded, he could also fail. Fortunately, the monster gave him a summoning scroll skill beforehand. He then crushed the scroll in his hand. Yi Zhongming successfully mastered the summoning scroll skill and inserted his hand into the pool of water. A wave surged in the pool. Swish! A muscular monster appeared behind Yi Zhongming. Immediately, a stream of water burst from the jar, directly hitting the green monster. It kept emitting white smoke with a sizzling sound. One green and one blue were entangled together like this. Without any support at all, the little monster was sweating profusely. When all else fails, running away is the best plan. But at this moment, Bowl Cut and his companions stood in front of it. The group opened fire on them, suppressing them with overwhelming firepower. This put Yi Zhongming at an instant disadvantage. Yi Zhongming saw the juicy meat about to fly away from his mouth. He once again used the Jackie Chan possession technique, coupled with precise figure outlines of his opponent's body. Yi Zhongming successfully knocked down several people. Then he took advantage of the chaos to catch the little monster. In contrast to the looting battle in the previous life, where casualties exceeded 60% in the huge melee, now he can finally become the winner. But he hasn't even warmed his butt yet. A sharp air blade flew straight towards Yi Zhongming, aiming to chop off the hand of the little monster he was holding. Luckily, Yi Zhongming acted swiftly. Otherwise, it would have been his arm that got severed. And at this moment, three mysterious figures emerged from the dust and fog, instructing Yi Zhongming to release the little monster from his grasp. Seeing Yi Zhongming ignoring the warning, the three individuals then launched a direct attack on him. One of the men, who looks like Kakashi, charges towards him with a long spear. Due to the previous injury to his right arm, the situation is not optimistic. So he made the decision to sacrifice his arm like a hero. He directly kicked the little monster away, made the three people on the spot feel confused. But it flew to leader Ye's #1 henchman, Wang Ding. Early birds catch the worm. But the only benefit is that it can transfer 3 combat powers to Wang Ding. And Yi Zhongming can fish in troubled waters. At the same time, he can also observe the enemy's information from the side. The sudden appearance of Wang Ding made Yi Zhongming frown. He is actually a 2-stars evolver. I didn't expect to come back to life slower than him. This is a kind of humiliation. However, Yi Zhongming is not too bothered. Instead, he took advantage of the chaos and ran towards the little monsters. When they were fighting each other like dogs, Yi Zhongming had already grabbed the reward money bag. When Wang Ding finally remembered the money bag, Yi Zhongming has already taken the money bag and said thank you to him. In the near future, people need to rely on a lottery even to have a bottle of cola. In the apocalypse where zombies roam, snatching the wheel becomes the key to survival and strength. The reincarnated Zhongming is like a walking cheat code, venturing into the lairs of many big shots. He snatched the precious monster item, but hasn't gone far. 2 stars evolver Wang Ding is desperately chasing after him from behind. Zhongming knows well that he can't compete head-on with his previous power. He can only resort to outsmarting them. And at this moment, a sudden explosion occurred ahead. Even Zhongming hesitated slightly when he saw it, because what appeared in front of him was the level 4 chained prisoner. But Zhongming was not surprised but rather pleased. He seemed to have a new plan. In the slight moment of hesitation from Zhongming, Wang Ding caught up. Zhongming took Wang Ding's punch head-on. If it weren't for the fact that Zhongming is not an ordinary 1-star evolver, he probably just hung himself. And at this moment, Wang Ding realized that Zhongming was not simple. He directly used the exploding clothes technique. The black skull tattoo on his chest was undoubtedly revealed. The moment that caught Zhongming's attention finally made him realize why Wang Ding had become a 2-star evolver so quickly. It turns out that he used the black soul devouring card. If a 1-star evolver is used, it only needs to devour a level 1 mutant life form to evolve into a 2-star evolver. But the maximum is to ascend to 3 stars, and only have a maximum of 10 years to live after using it. Wang Ding issued a final ultimatum to Zhongming. But Zhongming at this time was unexpectedly calm and composed. This made him suspicious and unwilling to underestimate. Later, Zhongming pointed around. He then realized that almost all the surviving organizations had come here. Of course, the armed group behind Wang Ding also arrived here together. Zhongming then directly turned a chained prisoner and leaped up and down. He arrived at the highest point of the pile of rocks and made a startling decision. He directly emptied the treasures from the money bag. The onlookers were all dumbfounded upon seeing this. But in the next second, they immediately recovered and rushed towards the treasures in the sky. And Wang Ding was even closer to the waterside pavilion, when it was about to be in hand. Suddenly, a green vine sprang out, snatching away the fat meat that was about to fall into Wang Ding's hands. It was Liang Chuyin. Teacher Piao and Mo were also with her teammates. In the chaos, Mo also got a golden egg. Then she delivered a flying kick in midair. She kicked another golden egg into Teacher Piao's hands. And so, Zhongming's 3-person team each had their own fate. The remaining few also did not give in to each other. In the end, Leader Yi was defeated by the 3 of them, and was kicked away. Just then, a gunshot not far away broke the current situation. The crowd's eyes turned to the chained prisoner one after another. It is Zhongming. He keeps shooting at the chains of the chained prisoner. Others thought that Zhongming had gone crazy. He wanted to lure the monster and meet the same fate. But they did not know that Zhongming was after the iron chain on the monster. Melting this chain into weapons can greatly enhance their quality. Every gram can be sold for a sky-high price of ghost metal. In the near future, people even need to rely on a wheel to draw lots for a bottle of Evergrande spring water. In a post-apocalyptic world overrun by zombies, seizing the wheel becomes the key to survival and power. The resurrected Zhongming is like a walking cheat code. Just as everyone was fighting over the golden sphere, he was calculating a big iron chain. Because he knew that this was no ordinary iron chain. It's the priceless ghost metal. After multiple shots from him, the iron chain finally cracked. He then climbed on top of the chained prisoner. He grabbed onto the crack that appeared in the iron chain. He then swung his 80-meter short sword. Aim and slash. After a period of reinforcement, the sharpness is extraordinary. Cracks appeared on the iron chain as expected. After that, Zhongming kept chopping like this incessantly. Chained prisoner still looked puzzled. It just wanted to shake off this red fly. Its right hand was already injured. Now things have gone from bad to worse. Seeing how much the iron chain had cracked only made it more disheartened. Even someone as strong as Zhongming has also had thoughts of giving up. And just at this moment, Zhongming suddenly discovered something that could change the situation, a seed of a man-eating plant that had not yet sprouted. Zhongming grabbed it firmly. Then he stuffed them into the cracks of the iron chain. The next second, activate Gardner's activation skill, only to see the seeds of the man-eating flower in the cracks grow at an exponential speed, forcefully widening the cracks. Then Zhongming did a spinning jump with his eyes closed. Leaping through the air was a slash, directly cutting through the man-eating flower. The momentum attracted everyone's attention. Then weightlessness began to fall. The broken iron chain also fell through the air. And at this moment, Wang Ding immediately rushed over. In his eyes, as long as Zhongming attaches such importance, it must be a good thing. How could the fat in hand be easily given up? Zhongming immediately called for Di Huang Pill. Then Di Huang Pill jumped straight out from Wang Ding's head. Seeing Di Huang Pill successfully bite ghost metal, Zhongming finally fell to the ground in relief. Fainted. Fortunately, Liang Chuyin and several others arrived by his side in time. And at this moment, the chained prisoner was already furious, shooting wildly. When Zhongming opened his eyes again, he found that he had been unconscious for several days. He only knew about it after Teacher Piao's explanation. It turns out that, after he fell into a coma, Mo Yi and her colleagues helped them to retreat together. Now those people are clamoring to take away treasure as reward. If it weren't for Mo Yi, they would have turned their backs on us long ago. And at this moment, Zhongming woke up. It's also time for him to take over and handle this matter. First, he asked Mo Yi to bring out the gains of the day. One of them is the formula for the hiking potion. After taking it, endurance increases within 2 hours, while the other one is a crystal that holds a volume of 1 cubic space. This is definitely top-tier equipment in the post-apocalyptic world. And the last item is a summoning card. Mo Yi entrusted it to her instructor for safekeeping. Now he refuses to return it. After looking at the 3 items, Zhongming just casually said, "These 3 items cannot be shared with you all. In the near future, people even need to rely on a wheel to draw lots for a bowl of snail noodles. In the apocalypse where zombies roam, snatching the wheel becomes the key to survival and power. The reborn Zhongming is like a walking cheat code. He reaped great rewards in a treasure wheel showdown. But in every era, there will be vile people eyeing them. This Mediterranean fellow picks up a weapon at the drop of a hat. He plans to use force to compel Zhongming to hand over all the rewards. If it were another organization, it might still work. But he is facing the protagonist of the comic Zhongming. I only saw Zhongming's eyes grow cold, and a surge of killing intent rise in his heart. Sure enough, the Mediterranean brother took out a gun and aimed it at Zhongming, ordering him to hand over everything. But Zhongming remained calm. His eyes grew even colder. Since the other party is so shameless, he doesn't need to consider emotions and righteousness either. Then a pistol was aimed at the head of the old man in the Mediterranean Sea. Bang! Suddenly a bullet passes straight through the old man in the Mediterranean Sea. It was Mo Yi's teammate Xiao Lei. At this time, everyone was only belatedly aware of the situation. They all gnashed their teeth at Xiao Lei, preparing to sacrifice her to the heavens. And at this moment, the Di Huang Pill jumped over. Just a brief encounter made them scatter and flee in disarray. Zhongming, on the other hand, sneered at Mo Yi's instructor and said coldly, "Hand over the card. I'll let you go." Then he handed the immunity potion to Mo Yi to give to the departing instructor as a life-saving measure. This simple act of kindness completely won over Mo Yi's heart. After that, he threw the strengthening potion to Xiao Lei, who had just betrayed them. It turns out that before the negotiations, Zhongming had already privately rallied Xiao Lei to his side. He promised to escort her to find her husband after the matter is settled. After the distribution of the spoils incident came to an end, Zhongming could finally take stock of the spoils of this battle. He retrieved the Hellhound summoning card from the instructor's hands, and then stored it directly into the space crystal. A piece of gold cloth appeared in front of him. He only then realized that this was the money pouch cloth of the little creature. But he distinctly remembered tearing it open at the time. Now the cloth had reappeared in front of him intact. To validate his guess, Zhongming wielded an 80-meter dagger. Aiming at the money bag, he swung the dagger. But unexpectedly, the place where the dagger passed actually healed on its own. This greatly astonished Zhongming. He threw it away as if he had seen a ghost. When he came across the egg of ape turtle crocodile, the surroundings unexpectedly emitted a dazzling light. When Zhongming carefully lifted it up for observation, the scene in front of him once again astounded him. It turns out that it can absorb vitality to repair its own injuries. This is an end-of-the-world artifact. But with Zhongming's current strength, he still doesn't know how to use it. He had to put it in the corner for now. Next is the sheep treasure obtained by killing fearful sheep at the beginning. This is also the only thing that can directly enhance strength this time. Then he felt a deep sigh. When the sheep treasure slid to the intersection of 1/3 of the large intestine and small intestine, in an instant, a surge of heat gushed directly from his anus. In the near future, people even need to rely on a lucky draw with wheel to eat a piece of extra gum. In the post-apocalyptic world where zombies rampage, seizing the wheel becomes the key to survival and power. The resurrected Zhongming is like a walking cheat code. Harvested abundantly in the first battle for the gathering treasure wheel. Especially after he swallowed the sheep treasure. A surging power gushed out from his anus. He, who was still in a weak post-war state before, instantly recovered. Now his back is not sore anymore. His legs are not hurting. He effortlessly went up 5 flights of stairs in one breath. After this strengthening, his strength is now nearly 8 or 9 times that of an ordinary person. After recovering, Zhongming showed the unexpected gain from this strengthening. Ghost Metal then used the gathering and refining skills in the artisan technique. Just saw Ghost Metal struck as if by lightning. Disperse into 100 portions, each weighing 10 grams. Then continuously flow into the spatial crystal. He then took one portion out to practice and test. Zhongming pulled out an 80-centimeter short knife. Then he inserted the knife into the iron pillar next to him, and once again demonstrated the forging ability in his craftsmanship skills. The materials in front of him melted into a pile of molten syrup. Then he began to incorporate strengthening materials such as ghost metal and magic crystal. After a burst of strong light flashed, a brand new 90-meter short knife appeared in front of Zhongming. And the knife also comes with the ghost metal skill full power blade attached. Just swing it with all your strength, and 1/3 of the blade will light up with a blade aura. This is a skill that only bladesmen's primary profession can acquire when reaching the master tier. It is truly a rare existence in the end of the world. Just by seeing the additional skills of ghost metal, Zhongming feels extremely delighted. After he finished crafting the new weapon, Zhongming continued with his next plan, fulfilling his promise to Xiao Lei and preparing to head to the region where her husband is located. Drawing on his experiences from the past, Zhongming quickly analyzed the best route. Just when everyone thought they were about to set off, Zhongming actually had something to take care of first. In a hotel, the three of them were taking stock of their recent gains. Just as the red-haired woman was about to pull the curtains, suddenly, there was a loud bang. The person who came was Zhongming. Before Bald Brother could regain his senses, Zhongming has already kidnapped red-haired girl. Then Mo Yi and others burst in with guns. During Zhongming's unconsciousness, these three people relentlessly pursued and killed Mo Yi and his group. Now Zhongming has come to collect the debt. And he also wants to get the location of the colorful wheel out of their mouths. As expected, with the hostages in hand, I have the world. Soon, the crewcut guy confessed everything. Later, crewcut guy led everyone to a residential area. And the room in front of them is where wheel is located. Sure enough, a colorful wheel appeared in front of everyone. According to feedback from the crowd, it is estimated that driving at once will require 300 crystals. So what's next? They will be quite busy in the near future. People even need to rely on the Wheel of Fortune to eat endless chicken wings. In the apocalypse where zombies rampage, snatching the wheel has become the key to survival and strength. Just recently, Zhongming found a colorful wheel, but it costs hundreds of magic crystals to spin it once. So the current top priority is to kill zombies to gather magic crystals. With a few more team members now, they can harvest over 200 magic crystals in just one morning, but they are still far from having enough to spin the wheel. Therefore, Zhongming decides to change locations, attempting to collect level 2 magic crystals in places like supermarkets, where crowds of people gather, the prime target for zombies hunting for human prey. As expected, a drop of mysterious green substance suddenly falls on his shoulder. When he looks up, he sees a mutated long-legged spider. Before Zhongming could even react, it spat out a bunch of sticky spider silk. Faced with such a large spider web, Zhongming did not intend to dodge. Instead, he calmly drew a 90-meter short knife and aimed it at the spider web, slashing with full force. A red sword Rarest swiftly cut the spider silk web in half. Before the long-legged spider could react, Zhongming has already appeared above it. The 90-meter short knife is restless. He then once again unleashed the full power blade, and the red knife energy surged up like a towering giant wave. Just one glance. Long-legged spider split in half like being reborn. Then Zhongming dealt with its body calmly and unhurriedly. Just at that moment, Zhongming suddenly felt a chill down his spine. Fortunately, Zhongming was in good shape, otherwise, he wouldn't be able to avoid it even with the Great Luo's help. At this moment, Zhongming's expression darkened, because the one who just ambushed him was not an ordinary zombie. It was a beautiful woman who turned into a zombie, and then evolved into a new special type called Speech Witch. The talent skill can control a mutant creature or monster. It can also evolve with her to become extremely powerful in the end. And the one who just ambushed Zhongming, it's this extremely agile level 2 mutant black cat. In other words, Zhongming is currently facing 2 level 2 creatures. Just then, the black cat leaped up. But the next second, it was gnawing on the corpse of the long-legged spider, completely ignoring Zhongming. Zhongming, who knew he was being looked down upon, raised a 90-meter short knife. He whooshed forward towards the black cat with no one else in his eyes. Shortly after, he swung a full-power blade at it. When the black cat noticed, while it was able to dodge, it could not escape unscathed. The blade cut its delicate black skin. But the next moment, Zhongming's face turned serious. It turned out to be a talent skill of energy exchange. It can accelerate the healing effect by transferring injuries to others. The Speech Witch in front of me, who is only at level 2, actually awakened this skill. Zhongming knows that he cannot fight for long. He must strike while the iron is hot. But Speech Witch does not seem to be eager for battle. She directly used the strategy of to flee is the best tactic from the 36 stratagems. Zhongming wanted to chase after them. But thinking about the wound on his back that was just scratched, the smell of blood permeating like a moving cake. So he decided to go back to bandage the wound first. But he always felt something was not right. Sure enough, the manhole cover not far away made a hissing sound. In the near future, people even need to rely on a lottery to drink a bottle of Sprite. In the post-apocalyptic world overrun by zombies, competing for the wheel has become the key to survival and power. Zhongming just discovered a new colorful wheel while collecting crystals when he was attacked by a level 2 Speech Witch. Zhongming intended to evade the attack at first. He, however, was attacked one after another. First, it was the one flying in the sky. But the flying monster could not withstand Zhongming's 90-meter short knife. And the creatures crawling on the ground were also restless. Sure enough, the next moment, they gathered and surged towards Zhongming, but under Zhongming's blade, they all ended up losing their heads. But they excelled in their astonishing numbers. Suddenly, 2 little cuties inadvertently stood out. But the little cuties were handsome for less than 3 seconds. Just one glance. He dealt with many little cuties in one go. The rest were all scared and ran away immediately. Zhongming then pointed to the speech witch on the rooftop. "It's your turn next time." It saw that Zhongming was not simple. Speech witch also had no intention of fighting, turned around and left. But a creepy vibe could be seen in its eyes. Quickly, Zhongming dragged the burly man's body back to the base. Liang Qin looked heartbroken when she saw it. The group of three still didn't forget to taunt him. After receiving some bandaging, Zhongming arrived in front of the colorful wheel. Afterwards, he threw in the 360 magic crystals he had obtained today. The wheel spun rapidly. The crowd behind held their breath. A moment later, there was a ding sound. It was a professional certificate called Light Apostle. Zhongming saw the detailed description and his eyes lit up. It's a combination of a doctor and a mage. It can both heal and defend, as well as provide support for attacks. It is truly a dreamlike all-around profession. But the downside is that it can only be the user's sole profession. After hearing the description of the profession, everyone's eyes lit up with excitement. One after another turned their heads to look at Teacher Piao behind them. Apparently this profession was tailor-made for her. And Teacher Piao did not refuse. She directly crushed the scroll in her hand. With a swish, a blue light suddenly appeared. Only to see Teacher Piao slowly open his eyes. Then he pointed at Zhongming. Zhongming's injuries healed at a visible speed. This made Zhongming very surprised and pleased. A rare skill in the apocalypse. Not only that, she also has another auxiliary skill. And her evolution path is rich and powerful. This makes Zhongming call it super awesome. No wonder this can only be the unique profession. Before Zhongming could recover from his surprise, Teacher Piao summoned a hollow diamond shield. Not only can it be cast on oneself, but it can also be cast on a designated target. And this type of defense is automatic. It will automatically capture attacks and counter them by moving itself. And as Teacher Piao advances, this defense will only become more powerful. Sure enough, this support role is very satisfying to Zhongming. There are still 2 empty slots left on the wheel. He took out the magic crystal again and threw it in. The 3 people on the side all looked blank.